everyone, and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Wednesday, July 9, 2025, and I'm Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Ward Ahmed, and we've got a packed show for you today. Firstly, in the newest update, Middle Eastern tech founders Petition has actually forced Sequoia's partner Shaun Maguire to issue an apology to specifically what he called Islamist Muslims only and Indians. Secondly, Richard Attias and associates are considering an IPO amid Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 push. And next, there is this really special Dubai startup, which has raised $250 million, hitting $1 billion valuation, making it a unicorn. And finally, Elon Musk's Starlink has launched in Qatar.
And that boosts regional connectivity. First of all, let's start with the story of the day, which has been covered by the Bloomberg, the New York Times, CNBC. Everyone literally has picked up this story after Wamda chairman led a petition. Wamda chairman and Aramix founder also, Fadi Gandoor, he has literally forced Sequoia Capital partner Shaun Maguire to issue a public apology. There's a video out there. In a video, he says to any Muslim that isn't an Islamist and to Indians, I'm very sorry. I regret how the tweet gave Zohran Mamdani ammo.
And the apology came after the July 4 X post by Maguire, in which he claimed the New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani comes from a culture that lies about everything, calling him an Islamist and stating it's literally a virtue to lie if it advances his agenda. Now, the post, as of now, Majid, is actually viral, garnering over 5.5 million views.
And Fadi Gandoor's open letter has now grown, led by him, has now grown to include over 900 signatories representing more than 800 startups. Among the signees are major regional players like Kareem, Tabi, Tamara, Kalo, and Bezat, as well as Sequoia-backed CEOs such as Lean Technologies, Hisham Al-Fali.
Now, Gandoor actually went on an interview with The National and said that Maguire has been extremely aggressive on social media since October 7 amid the ongoing genocide Israel continues to commit in Gaza. And he added that if Sequoia wants to raise or invest in this region, it must make it clear that it does not tolerate this behavior.
And Sequoia Capital India now operating as Peak XV Ventures. I think it's Peak 15 Ventures as part of the global Sequoia network. It has invested $5 million in Egyptian digital bank Telda, $33 million in Saudi fintech Lean Technologies, and $37 million in UAE-based prop tech startup Huspi. Huspi actually yesterday also announced they got $59 million. They raised 59.
We don't need you, Sequoia.
Yeah, so despite funding from Sequoia, Lean's CEO Hisham Al-Fali signed the petition condemning Maguire's remarks. And whoever is not condemning them, it's very weird because he clearly, outrightly was spreading Islamophobia. But then even his defense was so weird. He came back and started saying, it's not about Muslims, it's about Islamists.
Yeah, and he said
and then he defines it.
I'm reading it. He's saying that Islamism is a political ideology like communism. And he even went on to say people have lost the plot. They think that Islamist basically equals to Muslim. But he then proceeds to say that it's Hezbollah, Hamas, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Taliban, that are Islamists. He proceeds to give examples and says that Mamdani is a part of those Islamists. I think that the entire thing doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because if you actually do look at, regimes or groups that are practicing extreme forms of Islam, you would notice that there is a trend and there are certain beliefs that they stand by. And if you take a look at Zohran Mamdani and how he's like with the New Yorkian community, he supports all kinds of communities. Yeah. And I just think that this does not make sense whatsoever.
He doesn't have a defense. He's creating a defense by redefining Islamist or Islamism. It's a religion. Followers are called Muslim. Whatever interpretation you make out of it, Islamist, this, that, at the end of the day, you are hurting the sentiments of the people who follow the religion. It's very simple. Very easily, you can equate it to any other religion and their followers and say, oh, all Christians are not Christians. And you can't say all of that. There is no, how do I say it? It's very, let's not go into the religion part of it, but he is trying to do that. Now he's trying to play the religion card. You're a tech founder, you're a VC fund founder. Talk about money, talk about this is a good investment, that is a bad investment. I invested in this startup for this reason. Why are you going into politics? And I think it's a general trend throughout the world. We have the world's richest man, half of the world calling him a genius, half of the world calling him an evil genius, Elon Musk. He's formed a new America party. I don't understand that how these tech founders or any person who's related to anything business should be commenting on politics. Someone with a political science degree, someone with any background, any literature-based background, any degree-based background, any educational background on politics, on religion, should comment on it. That's my view, that if you want to have an intellectual argument over any field, at least have something to back it up. Have a degree, have some self-read. If I read 15 books on religion, that makes me an expert on religion? No, right? I need to go through a formal system at least to understand how things work.
But Majid, like the reason why his behavior is so dangerous, more than he already realizes, and I feel that his particular apology, is not really swaying me much, is because of the fact that he said, I'm sorry to Muslims that aren't Islamists, and I'm sorry to Indians because I know that it's things are still difficult.
Only Indians?
And to some, and I think for me, I know, and for me to sum things up as things are still difficult is such an injustice. It really is. I remember that there was this podcast by the guy that you really love, Bartawi. And there was this one session that he basically did with this guy. His name is Muhammad Al-Hakim. And in the podcast, Hakim was talking about how, I think it was after 9/11, how he had to change his name when he was living in the US. And, someone like Maguire, like you would not believe how many people, how many people's lives hate speech like this could really affect. Like, for example, I know an aunt, Majid, she lives in America. She took off her hijab. She completely took it off because she wanted to be safe. She did not want to be targeted every single time she went to a supermarket, every single time she went to work, every single day. Ideologies like this, especially in the corporate world, in the business world, they can be harmful for a lot of people, and especially a place like Sequoia capital that has helped some of the best companies in the world rise. Like off the top of my head, I can think of Google, I can think of Nvidia, I can think of Zoom. So it's just, this is very harmful behavior. Let us see what else he has to say. I'm sure he's not done.
The one confusion that was highlighted by Rich in the morning, we were talking to him, our founder, and I've tried to read all the news that came out about it, covered by Bloomberg, New York Post, whoever covered this. No one knows the origin of the open letter. So I was just reading it, and no one knows the origin. But in our region, Fadi Ghandoor was obviously leading the charge. He invited everyone to go and sign that petition. But also, so I don't know where it came from, but obviously it came from our circles, because why Indians? You have Arab Muslims also. I think he actually needs a lesson in history and religions, and which regions are talking about which regions are following which religion.
No, I think in particularly here, he apologized to Indians because Mamdani's mother, I believe she's South Asian, so that's probably why he did. But I think with this entire case, Majid, what it's honestly even more so highlighting is how beautiful the region that we live in is, how beautiful the Middle East is, that you have someone like Fadi Ghandoor with such an amazing track record. You know, he founded Aramix. He is also right now founder and executive chairman of Wamda Capital that is investing into so many beautiful startups in this region. He also invested in Maktub, which was bought out by Yahoo. So, you know, the fact that you have someone like this, you know, this tech genius who is leading the charge only confirms to people how bad this is. And I think with Gandour, watching his interview with The National, you can clearly see how bothered he has been by Maguire for such a long time. And if you look at his X account, he has been at it for a while. I remember he screenshotted this news story from the New York Times where they reported how Palestinians are being killed and hospitals are being bombed. And he was like, I was the first person to point out that this is a piece of libel. And it, you know, this is someone who really feels very justified in their course of actions.
On the Bloomberg letter, apparently all the people who can sign that and write their name can write anything. So Bloomberg went on and asked a lot of them, and Mudassir Sheikha confirmed that he has actually signed that petition. He's the co-founder and CEO of Uber-owned Middle Eastern ride-hailing company, very long definition, but Kareem basically. He's the co-founder. Umar Al-Majdoui, the founding partner of Saudi investment firm Raid Ventures, and Zahir Mohyuddin, CEO of Cupertino-based startup Levels.fyi, all these confirmed. And then Islam Hussain, who is the co-founder of Invigo in Dubai, he also confirmed. He had a very nice thing to say. He says, Maguire's comments were Islamophobic, completely unacceptable, especially coming from someone in a leadership role at one of the most powerful firms in venture capital. And there's another thing, he's not just like critical of things in Islam. This is, I think, his first venture here. But he's known in VC and technology circles for his frequent X posts and controversial statements. In January this year, he posted a photo himself at one of the presidential inaugural celebration in DC. Basically, he was at a Trump rally. And later, he called diversity, equity, and inclusion as structural racism. So the policy which was made to remove racism from corporations, like you should have diversity, you should have equity, you should have inclusion, you should have all colors, races, religion, people in the companies. He called that policy structural racism. So imagine the level of controversy this person creates. The only thing positive I want out of this is that he has apologized, but that is half an apology. I would want
Also,
Sequoia
it's
Capital.
just dug into a video. You know, for somebody who's such a keyboard warrior, you know, they can type it out and be like, I am sorry to XYZ. But he made a video where he put himself on a tiny circle where he was like, you know, I am sorry, but, you know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but.
This is honestly the worst kind of apology that can come out. But there is good news that is going on right now. And I think it's really interesting. So basically, Richard Attias and Associates, the firm behind Saudi Arabia's very prestigious Future Investment Initiative, FII Summit, is exploring a potential initial public offering. Now, the founder, Richard Attias, confirmed to Bloomberg that the company is working with Evercore on a possible listing as early as next year.
And Sanabil, linked to the Saudi Public Investment Fund, currently holds a 75% stake in the company, while Attias owns the remaining shares. Discussions are also ongoing regarding a full or partial sale of Attias' stake.
So this potential IPO underscores the momentum behind Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, which aims to transform Riyadh into a global financial hub. Now, FII has played such a key role in this, and it's often called Davos in the desert.
And it attracted a lot of people. Last year, the last one, we followed very closely. Elon Musk was there, TikTok CEO was there. Literally everyone goes to that event.
Replit CEO was there,
CEO
Sam Arab was there.
And our founder and CEO, Richard Fitzgerald, was also there. But no final decision has been made yet on whether the company will go public or proceed with a stake sale. But he confirmed that they are looking at it and it can happen by the end of next year. Meanwhile, Richard Attias and Associates are expanding globally, organizing high-profile events, including the Miami edition of the FII Summit. That's an offshoot of the original FII, It's called FII Reach or something.
Yeah.
Very interesting name. And they go to Miami, and Trump was the first one who opened the keynote speech, and then we had all the other people come up. But yes.
Now, if the IPO proceeds, it is expected to draw significant international attention and could set a precedent for other companies aligned with Saudi Arabia's economic diversification and soft power strategies. Now, Majid, I read somewhere on CNN and Business Insider that a ticket to FII for one delegate is $15,000.
Yeah,
and apparently,
yeah.
they have like 5,000 people coming. So if you actually take a look at the numbers here, they're making almost $1 million every single time that they host a summit. That is exactly why they're considering an IPO.
Yeah. The main thing is, it's not just the gate money that they make from these
Yeah.
events. There's yearly subscriptions. So you can join the FII Institute, basically, Future Investment Institute. I remember when last year we were talking about it, there was this whole big chunk of data, big chunk of research that FII Institute does. And with that membership, that yearly membership, monthly membership, you get all access to that data as well. So
Yeah.
he's not just selling an event, he's selling data, he's selling research. And also, most importantly, when you go to these events, the access that you get to such big people, I think that is the biggest selling point for anyone. And it happens in the same as Davos, the World Economic Forum. That is why it's called the Davos in the Desert, because
And even
they think...
Qatar Web Summit that you
Yeah.
went to, it's just the group of people that are in
Yeah.
these summits. It's crazy. Even Qatar Economic Forum that
Yeah.
was hosted, I believe, by Bloomberg.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like high net worth individuals only.
Yeah.
Like you are expected to find the best of the best there.
Yeah. The main thing is, if you go to these events, I think with FII, the only advantage that I have seen, if you compare all of them, FII gives you direct access because you're with those people in the same room. I will never find BlackRock's Larry Fink walking around Web Summit. I will find tech founders, but I will never find him, that guy, that like the top guy, just walking around. Very rare. Maybe he does. Maybe he can. Rarely. Maybe he's there
Are
for
you
a
trying
talk
to
and
find
then.
him, Majid?
You know, but I will try to find all these people, and a lot of people look for these people. Even if you get like 10 seconds with them, just a hello, hi. It's very important for a lot of people who are into these fields, like investment banking, who are into investments, who are into VC, who are into
But
literally
you know,
this whole
Majid,
field.
when I now like think of someone like Larry Fink, it's ever since I saw Trump visiting the Gulf, visiting Saudi Arabia particularly, where he was standing right beside Crown Prince Salman, and I saw Jensen Huang, I saw Sam Altman, Larry Fink. All of these people just lining up and just waiting for that 10 seconds that you're talking about so that they could shake Crown Prince Salman's hand. What is the best way to put it for you? It's almost like it rubbed off the appeal for me of meeting them. Because in my head, I was like, you know what? They're also people.
Yeah.
They're also trying to find their partnerships and their network, and will continue to do so.
Yeah, and talking about network partnerships, a lot of stuff. Dubai-based deep tech startup Xpanceo has achieved unicorn status, clapping. But very important, we recently talked about another unicorn, a Saudi unicorn, which reached 1 billion and plus valuation. But Xpanceo has raised $250 million in a Series A funding round led by Hong Kong's Opportunity Venture, valuing the company at $1.35 billion.
So founded in 2021 by Russian entrepreneur Roman Axelrod and Ukrainian scientist Valentin Volkov, Xpanceo is developing futuristic contact lenses with night vision, zoom, and real-time health tracking.
And the Series A raise stands out amid a global VC slowdown, spotlighting the Middle East as an emerging hub for deep tech innovation. The region attracted $678 million in startup funding in just the first quarter of 2025, fueled by sovereign wealth funds, obviously.
So Xpanceo aims to launch clinical trials by the end of 2026, but it really does need to overcome technical hurdles like miniaturizing sensors and power sources to fit on the human eye.
And if successful, Xpanceo smart lenses could transform tech and health interactions, replacing screens with wearables, real-time augmented reality. So this can be a lens then, I think.
I think with this story, Majid, what stood out to me is the fact that Xpanseo's founders are from Russia and Ukraine,
yeah.
and they've started a startup here,
Yeah.
and it's now valued at over $1 billion. And this is proof that there are more. I said $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
This is proof that there are more Pavel Durovs to come in the UAE
Yeah.
that we're gonna see hitting unicorn status,
Yeah.
and even maybe getting the Emirati citizenship. And it's exciting.
yeah.
They're new characters that are being ushered in.
And again, Russia-Ukraine war, everyone knows about it, it's happening, but it also gives you a perspective into Dubai that every nationality, even if they're at war,
Yeah.
here they all are working together, mingling together, building unicorns together. Axelrod is from Russia, I think, and he is the business side of it. Valentin is the scientist side of this venture, and he is basically developing the whole thing. I was looking at their page, and they've developed some micro nanoparticles also already. They're successful in that. The only problem, as we discussed, is how do you put a battery in that lens? What would be the power source? But then again, there is another picture of them which shows that they have a whole plan for the whole lens. So there will be a solar-powered battery, but like on the edge of it. So if you look at a circle, the edge would have a solar-powered battery. Then there will be this. It's so interesting. I was
Or maybe
like,
we're just
okay.
both blind people without our glasses.
Yeah.
And we really need products like
Yeah,
Xpanseo's products.
But Xpanceo, the only thing they haven't talked about, and all of it is correction lenses. So even if you have, if you somehow Xpanceo makes it, which they will, they promised 2026 as the first prototype delivery date. But if you get it, you still won't have eyesight correction. So that will still be a problem for people with glasses like us. You remember Meta glasses, all these glasses. The only problem is the VR glasses, the AR glasses. We can't wear them with glasses. So it becomes very problematic. So this is one of the problems that they need to solve. But first they need to make a lens, working lens. Moving on, let's go to the world's richest man that we were just talking about a little while ago. So Starlink, SpaceX satellite internet service founded by Elon Musk, is now fully operational across Qatar. Musk announced the launch via social media platform X, marking a major step in regional digital infrastructure.
Now, the introduction of Starlink in Qatar aims to improve internet access for consumers and businesses alike, especially in areas that have struggled with connectivity through traditional providers.
And Qatar Airways has already begun equipping its fleet with Starlink, offering passengers complimentary ultra-fast Wi-Fi on select flights, reinforcing the country's growing reputation as a technological leader in aviation.
So with this rollout, Qatar becomes one of the first countries in the Middle East to provide advanced satellite internet services through Starlink, positioning itself at the forefront of digital innovation in the region.
And Starlink's expansion is part of the broader regional growth that started in late 2024 in Yemen and extended to Jordan, Oman, and Gaza, underscoring a steady push for connectivity in underserved areas.
Honestly, Majid, when I take a look at this entire story of Starlink, and I don't know if a lot of people do realize this, but Elon Musk, honestly, single-handedly, with the fact that he operates Starlink specifically in Gaza, he has the power to expose so much more than all of us know.
Yeah.
Honestly, he really does. I remember seeing this on X when Israel carried out the unprovoked illegal attack on Iran, and I remember Elon Musk was like, the Starlink satellites are on. And you just have to wonder how much more can Elon Musk now do, and how much more can he expose, and can he say that now that he's out of Donald Trump's shackles. I think for me, that is like, I'm just so, like, is it bad of me to say that I'm just so excited that they had a fallout and now Elon Musk is like on our side and he's probably like gonna tell us more information? Like, I'm looking forward to it.
I'll tell you a video, and it has a very nice theory, and me and Lavnish were discussing it yesterday. And it was like, the guy says, so if you go to Mars, you don't have fossil fuels there, so you will need electric cars. Elon Musk is building electric cars. You go to Mars, you won't be able to move a lot of humans together. So you will need robots. He's developing robots to help you build the infrastructure there. It's like, okay.
So he's just like 10 steps
Like
ahead
he's
of all of
literally
us.
every venture that he has. Also, yeah, the tunnels that he's building, and we are getting also one in Dubai. Remember, he said at World Government Summit that they're
Oh,
going
is
to
it
build
the
a
Dubai Loop?
yeah, Dubai Loop, which is being built by the boring company of Elon Musk. He said that on Mars you can't stay on the surface, so even if you go to Mars, you'll stay in underground tunnels. So he's building tunnels. He's literally whatever startup or whatever thing that you see he has is somehow makes sense that it will be used on
Honestly,
Mars.
Najid, it's like he's thinking a century ahead.
Yeah.
Quite literally a
And
century
my
ahead.
and Lavnish's final conclusion was either he'll be the hero that we need to save the world from whatever
Or
is
he'll be
coming,
evil and he'll
or
gatekeep
he'll be
it.
like Lex Luthor, the
Honestly.
evil genius who is the arch enemy of Superman. By the way, I'm going to watch Superman today. I have heard it after a long time they've made a standalone superhero movie. We're going, me and Sami, but let's see what the business of movies does. I'm wearing a Batman shirt because I'm a Batman fan, but I don't like Superman. Too
And
powerful for me.
That's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Smashy Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels at Smashy Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
This has been a Smashy Business Show, a Smashy Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. A big shout out to our 1.6 million monthly listeners across all our platforms. Thank you so much for increasing it 100,000 more. Please push us and take us to 2 million. We would love it. Thank you very much. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.